Ah, okay. Yeah, so the okay, you've never heard me say that in a video before, but it actually helps me syncing the video with the audio. Since I will not be using a video synced with an audio in this video, I don't need to say okay, but I'm just saying it to let you guys know that I say it. You've never heard me say it, but I say it. What's going on, my people? It is your guy, the Hopeful Entertainer here, bringing you a different kind of video. Last time I said that I did my channel intro. In this video, we're doing something different as well. We're doing a channel update. So let me just go on my script here. In this video, I want to talk about my channel and give you guys some insights about what takes place behind the scenes. So without any further, there's not going to be an intro. There's no intro. Right? This is not my regular video, all right? It's just me talking. Right. So yeah, the video is going to involve like three main things. Number one, I want to give you guys some behind the scenes. I will tell you guys some stuff that I do regarding the channel, how it is maintained and stuff like that. When it becomes relevant. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the future of this channel. Maybe I should have that be the third thing, whatever. The second thing I'm going to do is tell you guys the future of the channel, so what I plan to do in the future. And then the third thing that I'm going to do would be I'm going to ramble. Yeah, I'm going to ramble a lot. You'll get to see a bit more about my personality and how I ramble. Yeah, I think that's enough of the intro. That's enough of the preamble. Oh no, it's not enough of the preamble. Let's talk about something else. So this video is not going to be a video that you really look at. It's going to be a video that you listen to. So if you're preparing some dinner, it takes a while. If you're cleaning your house and you want something to play in the background, if you're on a long car ride, a long car trip, and you don't want to watch anything because it gives you motion sickness, then you can play this video and this will just be in your ears. And I should have some background music. I should have some background music playing in the background of the video as well. And I should also have like a little static, maybe a little 2-frame repetitive animation going on in the background as well. Let's get into the actual topics of the video. So yeah, the elephant in the room. Why haven't I been posting in the last 3 months? All right, so long story short, my laptop that I was using to do most of my recording and video editing and even a little bit of animation, it stopped working, right? So yeah, that's basically what happened. So what happened is that I've had multiple laptops over the years and a lot of them break down. As a matter of fact, not a lot of them, all of them break down eventually, including the newest one that I got. It wasn't a brand new laptop, it was a used laptop, but it was still good enough. And yeah, it stopped working. How did it stop working? Well, I'll tell you this, a short story. Strap yourselves in. This is going to be one of many tangents that I go on. So yeah, basically the laptop, it was working. It wasn't the best thing. Sometimes it crashed, but it was working for the most part. Then one night I went to sleep. The laptop was on my bed. I put it on an egg tray to help with ventilation. Anyway, when I woke up the next morning, the laptop would not start properly. I was like, oh, probably time to record another video. When I try to record the video, the laptop would not work. it turns on, but it soon turns off and it doesn't load up. It doesn't boot up to anything. There are some flashing lights that occur on the front LED of the laptop, so that's probably an error code that I could investigate. But for the most part, the laptop is donezo. I could take it to a laptop repair person, but hey, listen, man, that actually costs a lot of money. So yeah, I'm gonna try to look into it myself to see if I can fix it, or if not, then when I get enough money, then I'll either get a new laptop or I could even invest in a desktop. I would invest in a desktop now, and I probably will invest in a desktop in the future. But the thing with a desktop is that when you're on the go, you can't carry it from one spot to another spot easily. It's very cumbersome, and because of that, I haven't gotten a desktop as yet. My last desktop that I owned was like, I don't know, years ago. I've been using laptops for a very long time now, so yeah, I'm familiar with laptops too. Who remembers the laptops? Who remembers the laptops that you could remove the battery? The ones that you had the CD drive? Yo, those laptops were the goats, bro. We need more laptops like those, but I think they're trying to phase out both of those different things that come with laptops. And I don't really know why. If you're in the comments and you're a tech guy, you can tell me why are they not making any more laptops so you can actually just flip a switch and remove the battery, you know, like what's going on there. All right, so yeah, that's basically what happened. My laptop stopped working, and that has stopped me from basically making videos. And let me go off on another tangent now. Making videos. So if you don't know this already, I don't know if I've ever said this in a video, but I'm actually a one-man crew. So I record all of my videos myself. I record my audio myself. I edit the audio, I edit the video, which includes the effects and the pictures and the memes and the videos within the video. I do all of that myself, and then I publish it to my own YouTube channel. So I'm a one-man crew. I basically do everything myself. So the next question, if I haven't been posting in the last 3 months, what have I been doing with my life? Well, let's go on to the second part of this this video, section B, part A. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. Primal Odyssey. Yeah, you've probably heard about Primal Odyssey if you've been on the channel. This is not gonna be a plug. Alright, sure, it's gonna be a plug, you caught me. Anyway, with Primal Odyssey, it's supposed to be a shonen novel. Shonen basically means that it follows the story of like a young boy from his youth to his adulthood, and it shows his development. It's also supposed to be a story about the world of the young boy, right? So yeah, because I don't have a laptop that can do complex, memory intensive tasks like video editing, I said, all right, I can just type. I can still type on a laptop. I can type on any laptop. So whatever laptop I have now, I'm pretty sure I can type on it. And that's what I do. So I type up my stories. I make the stories for Primal Odyssey. I published 3 chapters so far. I've published chapters 2 and 3 after the good laptop stopped working. So I've published chapters 2 and 3 so far. Just to give you a bit more info about Primal Odyssey, so it's a shonen novel. Currently, it's supposed to evolve into different media, but currently it is just a shonen novel. And it's basically a shonen novel about the life story of Leo the Lion Primal, as well as the world that he lives in. So a primal in Primal Odyssey, what's a primal? A primal is just a person that has animal-based abilities. Each person has the abilities of one specific animal. So Leo, as you can tell from his name, his abilities are based on a lion. So Leo is a lion primal. There are also people in the world that I call clears. Clears are not primals, right? They don't have any animal abilities or anything like that. So basically, yeah, it's supposed to be a series about Leo's story and the world that he lives in. So it's going to involve a lot of other characters as well. It's going to have storylines. It's going to have a plot, maybe a plot twist or two. I don't know. Maybe a cliffhanger somewhere. I don't know. But basically, yeah, it's supposed to be a story about Leo, the Lion Primal, and the world that he lives in. It's like the third time I've said that. It's like the third time I've said that in this video, but whatever. Who's keeping track of that stuff, eh? So yeah, the last thing about Primal Odyssey now that I want to mention is that you're wondering, like, did he do all of the work for Primal Odyssey himself? Well, the story all comes from me. I didn't really use anything else. The story has some elements of different anime in it. Basically, there are some aspects from different anime that are related to the things that occur in Primal Odyssey, but most of the ideas are still just coming from my head. The storyline ideas come from me. The ideas that I get, I just jot them down and say, oh, that could be useful in Primal Odyssey. I should probably include that, stuff like that. So yeah, I do all of the story myself. The second thing now is that Primal Odyssey, I have to edit the book so that it can be eligible for Kindle Direct Publishing. So I do the book editing, and then I format the book as well using KDP's book formatting page. It shows you how to format your book so that it can be published on KDP. And then after I've written and I've edited and I've formatted, the last thing to do is to design the cover, the spine, and the back cover. And that takes some doing, but AI edited images to the rescue. I'm able to design a cover that I think looks okay, and yeah, that's that. So the last thing I'm going to talk about Primal Odyssey is that Primal Odyssey, it's a book, it has pictures, right? So the pictures are mostly when the characters are speaking. So I have a picture of a character that's speaking. It's not set up like in a manga or in a comic book where you have the different panels. It's just a picture of the character, their name, and then what they say. That's it. And there are also some pictures of different scenes, not too many. There are like 2 scenes that have been depicted, and then there are portraits for the characters that are in the book or that have been mentioned so far in the book. So yeah, those pictures, how do I get them? All right, so let me tell you a story. This is a tangent within a tangent. It's like a nested tangent. The original artwork for Primal Odyssey, how did I get it? So basically what happened, the original artwork for Primal Odyssey, how did I get it? So basically the process was, I go to the AI image generator, I type in a description of a character that I wanted to design. It gives me an AI generated image of that character. I use that image as a reference, and then I draw my own version of that character with my features that the AI image generator did not include, right? So I use their image as a reference and I draw mine. And then those were the pictures that made it into the original copy of Primal Odyssey. Now, when the person that got the proof copy of Primal Odyssey looked at the pictures, they said to me, well, maybe these pictures could be a little bit better. Am I an artist? No, I am not an artist. I never went to art school. I'm not an artist by profession. I can look at something for long enough and draw it. I've done drawings that I think are pretty good based on just looking at something and drawing and then looking back and drawing again. I use references. I guess that's what the term is in art. I use references. So I can draw based off of a reference, which is what I did, right? But the original, the final products that made it into the original copy of Primal Odyssey, the person said, hey, listen, maybe these could be touched up by an artist. So we organized for an artist, a freelancer, to actually do revised versions of my drawings, and then those revised versions are what made it into the final published copy of chapter 1 of Primal Odyssey, right? And then those pictures will be reused in future chapters. They're reused in chapters 2 and 3, and they're going to be reused in other editions of the book. They're going to be reused in other chapters of the book. Now, for chapters 2 and 3, I needed some new drawings done because there were new characters introduced. Some characters might have been introduced in chapter 1, but let's say in chapter 2 they make a sad face or they make an angry face. That's gonna need a different drawing. So what I had to do then is that I use the same process as chapter 1, but when the artist would revise my artwork, instead of having the artist revise my artwork, I basically gave it back to the AI image generator and I said, look at the drawing that I did, make an image based off of that drawing, and it did that. But the images still were not what I wanted, so I had to edit them heavily, and those were the different pieces of artwork that made it into chapters 2 and chapter 3. Chapter 4 has not been published as yet, but don't worry, I've written all the way up to about chapter 20. So basically, yeah, this is a long tangent, I know. I've written all the way up to chapter 20, so I can publish these chapters as long as I get the time to publish them, which I had because I wasn't doing YouTube, so I gave some time to publish chapters, and I published chapters 2 and 3 of Primal Odyssey. And I think the last thing I'll mention of Primal Odyssey, because I've been speaking about it for a very long time now, the last thing that I mentioned for Primal Odyssey is that a person who was reviewing the book, they said, yo, listen, if you're gonna do 400 chapters as you said that you're gonna do in your video, if you're gonna do 400 chapters and each book costs like $3, then guess what, it's gonna be what, $1,200 for the entirety of Primal Odyssey, or the first 400 chapters. Yeah, so I said, all right, you make a good point. So in the future, I'm not gonna publish them chapter by chapter. I'll group the chapters together and then publish them as like a little volume so that you don't have to spend as much to read all the chapters. And I do plan to do a lot of chapters. I don't mean like 50 chapters or 100 chapters. Yo, listen, I'm gonna go off on a tangent within a tangent within a tangent. I am the opposite over the adjacent. I am tan theta incarnate. The last tangent I'll go off is that, yo, listen, some people, they say, yo, listen, the best anime of all time, bro, what's that gonna be? In my opinion, I'm not an anime fan. I'm not an anime fanatic. I'm not a weeaboo. I'm not any of those things. But you're not gonna be in the argument for greatest anime of all time if you don't have at least 100 episodes. I want to see numbers, my friend. If your anime lasts like 12 episodes, 24 episodes, no, can't be considered one of the greatest. You have to have 100 episodes minimum to be considered one of the greatest. All right, that's enough. I know I might have triggered some people, but I'm just stating facts, bro. If you can maintain somebody's attention, if you can maintain your audience for 100 episodes, then you can be up there with the big names in anime. But if you can't do that, if you can only do it for 12 episodes, 24 episodes, 50 episodes, nah, you're not up there, bro. Not to me. As a person that doesn't even watch anime, you're not up there, bro. But that's just my simple way of looking at it. So yeah, in my version of my own shonen novel, I plan to have at least 1,000 different chapters, and each chapter is going to translate to basically one episode when I actually get around to creating an anime based off of Primal Odyssey, right? So yeah, 17 minutes in, man, am I going to edit out any of this? No, it's going to be a rambling video. I have background music playing in, well, the background, so you're listen, man, it's not going to be that bad, yo. Come on. Like I said, if you're mowing the lawn, you want to have something in your ear, then that's what this is for. Alright, so yeah, Primal Odyssey is gonna have a lot of chapters. It's gonna have a lot of chapters. I was saying like the first part of Primal Odyssey when they're kids, it's gonna be like 400 chapters, and then like the next part when they're growing up from teenager to adult, that's gonna be like another 600 chapters. I want to get to at least 1,000. I want to get to the 1,000 mark before I can definitively say that yes, I am finished with the Primal Odyssey anime or the manga, or in this case the shonen novel. So yeah, now I don't plan to basically do all 1,000 episodes of the shonen novel, then make the manga, then make the anime. It's not going to be done in that order. It just depends on when I get resources. If I get the ability to make the anime while I've published like 50 episodes of the manga, then I'll do it at episode 50 and we'll build from that. But it's not going to necessarily be done like, oh, I have to do all of the shonen novel first, then all of the manga, then the anime. No, it's not going to be done like that. Anyway, that's enough of Primal Odyssey. If you want, you can check it out. It's on Amazon, link in the description down below. Let's move on to the second thing that I have been doing to occupy my time. At the end of last year, November, I actually did an interview for a tutoring job and I was successful. So I have been preparing some lessons for the tutoring job. So I've been preparing PowerPoints like crazy. If I give you a number, let me say I've done like 60 plus PowerPoints. I'm not exaggerating, bro. I've done like 60 plus PowerPoints for the tutoring job, but I'm not even finished as yet. Exam time is rolling around, so maybe the business for the tutoring job will pick up. But that's basically a part-time job that I'm doing right now, is that I am a tutor. And then the last thing that I've been doing to occupy my time, I attend the school part-time. I do it on Saturdays. The course is a course offered by an institution, and I basically go there on Saturdays. And well, it's an online course, but we have to go on site to do labs from time to time. So basically Saturdays it's from whatever time to whatever time. On Saturdays I do that as well, and that takes up some of my time because I do have to study for the content, and we've been getting quizzes and exams like crazy, but it shouldn't last that much longer. So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing for 3 months and why I haven't been posting videos. So let's move on into the next topic. What is the future of the channel going to be? Am I gonna actually start posting videos again, right? So yeah, I will just answer that question right now. I will post videos again. I just need a little bit more time. When I'm finished with all of my responsibilities here, I will have more time to post videos, and I will post videos. So that's basically what's going to be the future of the channel. But what kind of videos will I post? That's the next question. Well, I was thinking about it and I'm like, yo, listen, one of the video games that I put a lot of time into, well, building was Mugen and Mugen League. And I know that Mugen is not the most popular kind of content on my channel, but I really enjoy doing Mugen League because I really enjoy putting characters against each other. I enjoy watching the AI go up against the AI. I enjoy the little situations that can happen. I enjoy the little fights that can happen in Mugen League. So I do it and I will continue to do it, right? So it's not really going anywhere. And yo, listen, man, it can only get better. I have plans on improving Mugen League. I want to get better at the commentary. The reason that I wasn't as good at the commentary for Mugen League at the beginning was, in my opinion, was because I just didn't know the names of the moves. So I have actually made a spreadsheet that has, well, pretty much all of the move names for all of the characters. Well, it's not all the moves, it's the specials and the supers, because for a regular punch, I'm not gonna look up the move name for when a character punches another guy. I'm just gonna call it a punch. Right? But let's say a character does a super, like Zoro has Ashura Ichibujin, or he has Sanzen Sekai. I need to know the name of those supers. Mihawk has the Kokoto Kogetsu, and then Doflamingo has Patsu no Sen Yaru Kyauda. Onoki has Jinton Genkai Hakuri no Jutsu. So if I don't know the names of the moves, I will fumble a lot when I speak, and my brain is going to be scrambling like, what's that called? So I have been trying to learn the names of all the moves in Mugen League, all the specials and all the supers. The regular normals, I don't know the names of those, right? So yeah, again, going off on a tangent on Mugen League this time. So I think I told you guys what went on in creating Mugen League, but I'm just gonna restate it here. So basically, with Mugen League, I'm the one that basically put the assets for the game together to get a functional game. I did not make the characters. I did not make Mugen. I didn't make the stages or the music that goes into Mugen League, but I am the one that put it all together into one unit that we call Mugen League, right? So I'm the one that did all of that. I also edited the characters files to try to help with balancing Mugen League, and that's something that I alluded to in like either the first video or the second video, one of them. I said, yeah, I balance the characters. And yo, listen, there are over 100 characters in Mugen League, and I had to go in and balance those characters, right? So let me just give you a quick rundown of what I mean by balance. So basically, this is how I balance moves. Well, specials and supers. Let's focus on those. If the super or the special takes a very long time to start and the character is not invincible during the startup, then I basically have the super or special do a lot of damage. To compensate for the damage that's going to be missed because of your long startup, you get hit and your super doesn't come out, right? That's a very complicated way of saying it, but I'm going to leave it in. And then if your super comes out very quickly, or if your special comes out very quickly, I have it do less damage because it's going to be hitting more often because it comes out so quickly that nobody's going to interrupt you. You get what I'm saying? So that's basically it. The process is that, number one, I have to find the move. Number two, I have to look at the animations for the move to get the frame data for the move. Number three, I have to look at how much damage the move should do based on some set criteria that I have. And then number four, this is the tricky part now, I have to go into the hit deaths of the move, and I actually have to edit the damage that the moves do on block and on hit. And that, my friends, might take some time because some moves, it's not like you look for a move and say, oh, the move does 150 damage. We want the move to do 100 damage. Go to where it says 150 and change it to 100. Sometimes it is that simple, but sometimes moves hit multiple times and that messes with everything, because when you're looking at the hit depth, you see like 3 different hit depths and you have to know what number to put each hit depth to ensure that the final answer adds up to the number that you want, and that takes trial and error sometimes. So yeah, that took a very long time to do, and I had to do that for basically 100 plus characters. So yeah, Mugen League took me a very long time to do it, and that's partially probably one of the reasons that I don't want to stop supporting Mugen League even if it's not popular. I know that I put a lot of time into it, plus I have fun watching it, so I'm not gonna drop Mugen League from my channel. People will just have to learn to just give Mugen League a chance, right? And last thing on Mugen League, I probably should have mentioned this before, but what was the idea behind Mugen League? Why did I make Mugen League? Well, it all started from a YouTube channel that basically did something called Naruto League. So basically, in my teenage years, I wasn't really into Naruto. I never watched Naruto anime or anything like that, but I was exposed to the Storm games and they look pretty cool. And then one of these YouTubers, they said, all right, what if we get a Naruto Storm game? I don't remember if it was Storm 3 Revolution or Storm 4. It was one of those games. I don't remember which, but they basically took characters from those games, put them in factions based on the anime, and let the AI control the characters and fight against each other. And then basically you had coaches that would give the characters different buffs or different allowed buffs. It was called Naruto League, and the coaches would basically take feedback from their staff, and then they would eventually go out and say, all right, we want the character to have these items and we want the character to use this jutsu, and then you put all of that in and then have the AI go and fight. That was Naruto League, and that's where basically Mugen League came from. So Mugen League is basically my own version of Naruto League, but it's much simpler because it's 2D, it's not 3D, but I can include characters from all over. I could include Dragon Ball Z characters if I wanted. I could include Hunter x Hunter. I could include My Hero, so long as there are Mugen character files for a character. So long as there are Mugen character files for a character, that character can end up in Mugen League. I also need the character to have artificial intelligence programmed for them, so that's also another prerequisite of Mugen League. Paladins Champions of the Realm. Now for Paladins Champions of the Realm, it's another game that I've given a lot of time on my channel. It's a game that I've given a lot of attention, and while I was on my hiatus, I basically realized that Paladins Champions of the Realm is basically going to not receive any more updates for the foreseeable future, which means it is on its last legs. Eventually when the game stops being profitable, eventually when the game stops making money, it is only logical to assume that the developers are going to shut down the servers and you will no longer be able to play Paladins Champions of the Realm. So realizing that, I said, you know what, that sounds bad. Now I wasn't gonna do any more Paladins videos, but I said, yeah, I might as well just do them until the game stops. So if I start making videos again before Paladins announces that the servers are gonna go down, then I will make Paladins videos. But you can look out for that. I don't know how long it's gonna take them. I don't know how much longer Paladins has. I don't even know if they've announced it. I hope they haven't, because this video is supposed to go out today or tomorrow. But yeah, that's basically the story between Paladins. But when I looked at Paladins Champions of the Realm and I saw that it was closing, I realized that I was basically giving a bit too much time to other games instead of doing something myself, instead of developing my own brand, so to speak. So basically, I want to get into a state where I can, yeah, put out some videos on my YouTube channel, but I also want to build my own products, right? That's basically part of where Primal Odyssey comes from, is that I want to do my own things. Like Primal Odyssey is an example of a product that I want to put out, right? So Primal Odyssey is just one. I'm gonna talk about some more products I want to put out there. Paladins and Mugen and Pokemon playthroughs. Those are probably going to be the main forms of content that I put out in terms of video games. So Among Us, I would want to do Among Us videos, but cheaters are in public lobby Among Us, so I don't play public lobby Among Us anymore. And then I could do private lobbies on Discord, but I need to have friends. I have no friends. No, but seriously, if I just do a private lobby on Discord with just a bunch of random people on Discord, chances are there's things that people say on Discord, I cannot have them said in my YouTube videos. It's supposed to be a kid-friendly channel, at the end of the day, a PG channel. And let's just say the things that people say on Discord are not PG. The only way I would be able to do Among Us would be if I either bleeped out all of the bad things that people say, or I get a bunch of friends that want to say, all right, we can play Among Us like how regular people do it, and I can sit down with my friends and play Among Us, and I can record and publish it to YouTube. I would love to be able to do that, but currently I don't really have that many links or connections, so I'm not really able to do that. So Among Us videos are probably not going to be on the channel for a while, until I am able to actually get a lobby together that I can play Among Us with, right? What are the other games? The Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, I haven't really been enjoying that game that much. I think I enjoyed the PTCGO much more because it was more of a grind. In the PTCGL, you can kind of get like whatever deck you want as long as you have the right crystals. I don't remember what the currency was, but if you have the right amount of currency in the PTCGL, you can get any deck you want, and that kind of takes away the fun, because part of the fun was that everybody didn't have a finished deck. Everybody have a half-cooked deck, a half-baked deck, and you would go on and battle other people's half-baked decks until you get enough cards to trade to get the card that you want and complete your own deck. That's basically no longer existent. As far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, there is no more trading in the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. There's not an option to trade. You know, the thing that's in the name of the game, you can't do it. It's called the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, but you can't trade anything. The only thing you can trade is in real life. You can't trade virtually, so that kind of took out a little bit of the fun of the game. So I might make more Pokemon Trading Card Game Live videos, I might not. I definitely will not make them as often though. So video games that I'm going to focus on the most will be Paladins until it dies, Mugen, because I put a lot of time into Mugen and to get better at Mugen League, and I want Mugen League to become popular. And then the last thing will be Pokemon playthroughs. I don't really have a problem with the Pokemon playthroughs. They're straightforward, not that difficult. I don't need to have a group of friends. I don't have to have like a ridiculously high NPC. I just need to have my Pokemon games and I can play them. Yeah, am I gonna do anything else on the channel apart from those 3 games? Yeah, I plan to do some sprite animations. Let's see, did I mention that? I'll mention the sprite animations later down. Let's move on into the next tangent that I'm gonna go off, right? So Pokemon, right? That's the next tangent according to my list that I need to go off on. So basically Pokemon. In my younger years, I gave a lot of time into coming up with ways for balancing Pokemon. I was obsessed with balancing Pokemon in my teenage years, right? And when hit and I had more free time, I said, you know what, let me just go around, balance Pokemon, and type up my ideas. I've made comprehensive spreadsheets. I've made Word documents that are like 100 pages long, all devoted to making my own version of a balanced Pokemon battling system. But then I said, you know what, why should I actually give Pokemon my time when they don't need it, number 2, they're not going to acknowledge it, and they would never ever consider it. So why should I use my ideas and my creativity to build and help Pokemon get better, in my opinion, when I could just do it myself? So yeah, part of that is that I plan to basically make my version of a Monster Hunter game, but I need coding to do that. Trust me, I plan on doing a lot of things, plan on learning how to code and stuff like that, but I want to basically make my own version of a Pokemon game. I want to throw my hat into the proverbial ring, so to speak. It's basically going to be like a Pokemon ripoff, but there are going to be some differences between my game and Pokemon. Number one, and the most important difference, the battling system is going to be different than the Pokemon battling system. Some elements will be similar, but some elements will be 100% different. And the most important part of my battling system is to achieve something that Pokemon never did. You see, even though Pokemon makes the millions, even though Pokemon is the #1 grossing IP, even though Pokemon is so bloody powerful and popular that just mimicking and attempting to get a fraction of their success would make you a millionaire, even though all of that exists for Pokemon, guess what? There's one thing that Pokemon has not achieved. You want to know what that is? Balance. The Pokemon battling system is not balanced. Some Pokemon are really strong, some Pokemon are really bad. Most of the ones that are bad are the ones that I like, hence why I don't play Pokemon anymore. I used to play Pokemon in my younger days, but I used to have a 2DS. I would IV breed my Pokemon, EV train them. I had the different abilities, the different natures. I paid attention to all of that stuff. I went on Pokemon Showdown, all that stuff. But I don't do it anymore because, yeah, Pokemon is just not really fun when I can't use the Pokemon that I like. So yeah, back to what I was saying is that Pokemon is not balanced. So my version of the Pokemon game, it should be balanced. In my version of my Pokemon game, the team that you pick to play through the game, it will be viable competitively. You wouldn't need to say, these are the creatures that I used to play through the game. Can I still use them online? Will they still be good? In my game, yes, you would still be able to use them because the game would be balanced. That's the long story short. My game would also be really customizable. Like when you're playing it, you should feel like it's your own experience. It should feel like it's a different experience than what your brother has or what your friend has or what anybody else has. The experience should feel unique to you. It should feel like you customized your entire experience, right? So that would be another selling point of my Pokemon ripoff, as some people might want to call it. This video is getting into the 40-minute mark, so let me just wrap it up, right? So yeah, I plan on making my own video games, which is my Pokemon ripoff. I also plan on making a video game for Primal Odyssey when it gets to that level. It's nowhere near that level. That level is like years away, but eventually if it takes off, it can get to that level. And I believe it can get to that level if I put enough time. So there's going to be my own video game, Pokemon ripoff. There's going to be a Primal Odyssey game. There's going to be a manga based off of Primal Odyssey. There's going to be an anime, again, based off Primal Odyssey. There's going to be a manga based off my Pokemon ripoff, and there's going to be an anime based off of my Pokemon ripoff. So yeah, I plan on making all of those things. I also plan on making some songs, right? So I already wrote a song that I've basically finalized. I just need to get the words right, get the tones right, get the beat right. So eventually I might publish that song on this YouTube channel. Just to tell you, it's not like a song where I go into the sopranos and I start hitting the high pitches. No, it's not like a singing song. It's a rap song, right? Because that's the music that I enjoy. I enjoy listening to rap music. I'm not gonna tell you the artist that I listen to, but I do listen to rap music. So you might be saying, all right, if you're gonna call yourself a rapper, give us a verse. I'm not a freestyler. If I could learn how to freestyle, sure, that would be great, but I don't really have a freestyle verse for you right now. But I can rap other people's songs. I can basically do that. Let's see if I can do the first part of the fast part of Godzilla, right? I'm gonna bleep out the F words because I don't want to say that. Film with the venom and the mother was a minimum and the mother want to heard about the denim and the federal mother and again about a wood of an affinity but a fuck mazan lick a bit everything considered red and a man anybody who wanted what a pedophile but anybody but gonna get it anyway. I haven't learned the second part as yet. That first part took me a while. I had to spend like an entire afternoon trying to learn that first part because it was so fast. So yeah, basically I plan to release my own rap song and it should have a fast verse at the end, you know, to sound spicy. Alright, the last thing that I plan to do, let me close the video off, sprite animations and 2D animations. So a sprite animation is where you animate with a set of sprites, and sprites are basically these images that are already drawn for you and they're drawn in specific poses. All you have to do is put the poses in your own way to get the animation effect. If you still don't understand what I talk about when I say sprite animation, you can look up Super Mario Bros. Z on YouTube. You can also look up Mega Sonic Bros. AF on YouTube. When I was younger, those were two sprite animation series that were next level. That's like peak sprite animation. And then there's also Death Battle, who does a lot of sprite animation. So I plan to do my own sprite animations. 1 Minute Melee is also another example of sprite animations. And yeah, I plan to do those. I also plan to learn how to draw, learn how to do 2D animations, because 2D animations are, well, they're dope, right? Alright, so going back to my anime, I already dropped One Pint Mom with anime. I'm about to drop another. Yo, listen, what should every anime have? In my opinion, right, as a degenerate, what should every anime have in common? I'm gonna tell you that right now. Does an anime need to have a good story? Does an anime need to have drama? Does it need to have great dialogue? Sure, those things are important. But what's one thing that anime does that nothing else can compare to? What's the one thing that makes an anime pop? I'm gonna tell you right now. Animation, the fight scenes. I looked up Sasuke versus Killer Bee the other day and watched it on YouTube. That stuff was ridiculous. The animation that went into Sasuke versus Killer Bee, in my opinion, from a degenerate anime person, I would say, yo, listen, that was peak animation. That was ridiculous. It was crazy. There's some anime that exists that are really popular, but the fight scenes are just not up there. I'm gonna tell you, Killer Bee versus Sasuke, one of the best animated fight scenes probably of all time. I like fight scenes, and I think fight scenes are what make anime. Fight scenes are what separate anime from all the other forms of media, because anime does them so well. It's what gives them their identity, in my opinion. That's why when I watch an anime, it has to have good fight scenes. That's why I watch Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. I never watched Dragon Ball, I would admit. And I watch Pokemon, even though Pokemon doesn't have hand-to-hand. Some of the battles, as they call them in Pokemon, are really cool, and it draws me in. So from my opinion, if you're gonna be like one of the greatest anime of all time, you need to have a lot of episodes, and your fight scenes need to be dope. Go back to Primal Odyssey. I know I said I was finished with Primal Odyssey, but Primal Odyssey should achieve both of those things. Primal Odyssey should be long run, and it should also have really good fight scenes. So I plan on learning how to do my own 2D animations. I plan to learn how to use like a 2D animation software that has rigging, so that I don't have to redraw everything every time I do it. But yeah, that's gonna happen later down in the year. Yeah, so that was basically me rambling on about different things. I told you why I haven't been posting. I told you the future of the videos, what I've been doing in my free time. I told you what I plan to do and stuff like that, and that's basically gonna bring the video to a close. It's almost 40 minutes. You can call it a podcast. It's not really a podcast because I'm just the one guy, but if you want to call it a podcast, you can call it a podcast. Yeah, that was basically it. So thanks for listening. Leave a like for all the talking, subscribe for more and more content, and sound your voice in the comments. Also, as a side note, if you would want to hear me talk more on any of the things I discussed in this video, if you want to hear me talk about my Pokemon ideas of how they could balance a game, if you want to hear me talk more about anime that I don't watch, if you want to hear me talk about the things that I mentioned in this video, you can let me know and I can make separate videos devoted specifically to those subjects, and I'll see what I can do. So yeah, right now it's a hopeful entertainer signing off. Have a great day, and yeah, thanks for listening.